actually starts off probably direction-wise. It looks the most difficult, but it's not bad at all. So, bear with me as far as the directionals first, and then I think the best way for me to do it, rather than you trying to draw it, is put one up on the board. So, talk amongst yourselves for a brief moment. What we're going to do now is you are going to learn one last type of problem that you could come across. These are very specifically, see, remember, paper 3 is paper 2 and paper 3 together. So paper 3 is all encompassing. And paper 2, these are very specifically a paper 2 type topic. That does not mean you won't see it on paper 3, if that makes sense. But I do see it more frequently on the paper 2 subjects. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. But it's something that everybody needs to know because we could come across it. So,
Do you think we can turn off like one set of lights?
I'm going to turn off the lights.
Alright.
Is it big enough?
Yeah.
Kind of. So you're just missing the number 4, basically. Okay, so I'd like you to please write this down, and we're going to discuss. I'll turn the lights off.
I got it.
Oh, thank you. So by no means am I trying to make anybody feel bad about this having to have, like, I'm not, it's something I have to do. It's not like I'm saying, we don't want to do this. I'm just saying it's something we have to do. So yes, you may. And while we're waiting, Alexis has been taping my lessons. Did you already know this? Did we already talk about this? And so on your Google Classroom, okay. We're still copying. I'll wait. It would not. So I want to discuss a couple of the verbiage here, because if I don't understand what the words are asking me, I'm not going to go very far in these problems. So the variables x and y satisfy this equation. So how would we say that? We have an equation y equals ax to the b. We don't really care about the satisfying and all that thing. We just care that y equals ax to the b, right? So I'm going to write that down. All right, so there we have it. Given the graph of ln of y against ln of x. So this is really, really important, and I ask you every time you're doing these problems to take a look at the axes that are created for each individual question, because they will vary. In this case, these values, what we normally see over here is what? What do we normally see here for my, we normally see an x and a y. In this particular case, it's ln of x and ln of y. So when they're saying the graph of the line ln of y against ln of x, I got it, is a straight line. Okay, so ln of y and ln of x is going to be a straight, is a straight line. Okay, so first of all, back in 8th grade algebra, 7th grade algebra, whatever, 6th grade algebra, whatever you all took it in, tell me what is the equation that we learned that represents a straight line? Y equals mx plus b. Cool? Does that make sense? So the way that we always say a straight line, we have y equals mx plus b. We're comfortable with that. The way they say it is the graph of ln of y against ln of x. So we say y in terms of x, or y equals mx plus b. They say ln of y against ln of x. It's very, very much the same as we would say y equals mx plus b. Okay? It's a straight line. So we know anything that looks like a straight line kind of falls into this. I have a y, and I have a slope, and I have an x, and perhaps a y-intercept. All right? So now let's look at this. It passes through the points 1, 2, and 0.5, and it passes through the point 8.1 and 12.3. In our world, normally, this is x and y. In our world, normally, this is x and y. But for this particular question, what is this guy representing, and then what is this guy representing? So the 1.2 is representing ln of x, and the 0.5 is representing ln of y. Every problem may differ. You might have plain old x with an ln of y. You might have ln of x with a plain y. Be cognizant of that. Pay attention. So these are like x and y, but in this particular case, it's ln of x and ln of y. Everybody cool with what I just said? Okay. Find the values of the constants a and b. So we have this y equals a x to the b. Now I could turn the light back on if you need it. Do we need lights now? Because I'm going to be drawing up here. We're good? Okay. Okay, y equals ax to the b. This, in this format, is not looking like a line. I need it to look like a line. Something like this, okay? Notice what's in between the slope in x plus the b. There's a plus symbol. You guys cool with what I just said? So come back over here. How do I begin to make this look like y equals mx plus b? So we learned some techniques yesterday, and hopefully they can come to your mind here. So what would you think the first thing I should do with this guy to start making it have plus in the middle? Yeah? ln both sides. Is everybody cool with that? So if I ln both sides, I'm on a starting point here. Okay. Again, my goal is to make it look like kind of like a straight line. So I'm over here and I say I have ln of y equals ln of a times x to the b. No?
Expand it.
I would have to expand it first. What does she mean by expand it? What does multiplication mean?
Addition.
Addition. So ln of y equals ln of a plus ln of x to the b. Oh, okay. Now, what do I do?
Put the b in front.
Put the b in front. So we have ln of y equals ln of a plus x, plus b ln of x. Can you visualize that this kind of looks like a line? Y equals mx plus b. Tell me which order I need to put everything in. Instead of y, I have ln of y. Okay, what's my x stuff in this one? B ln of x. And then what's my b stuff on this one?
Plus ln of
All right, are we cool? Everybody feeling it? So step one of these problems is to ln both sides and then expand it and clean it, all right? All the time. So then the next thing is, it wants me to find the values of a and b. So what is it they're giving me? They're giving me an ln of x and an ln of y, and they're giving me a second ln of x and a second ln of y. What does this scream? Solving simultaneously. Yeah, my favorite formula too, but solving simultaneously, doesn't it? So it says, look, I have ln of y, I'm going to do over here. I have ln of y's, I have ln of x's, so my formula is ln of y equals b ln of x plus the ln of a. Okay, what is ln of y in the first guy?
0.5.
0.5 equals b, what's the ln of x?
1.2.
1.2, good, plus the ln of a. Do you see the two unknowns? What are they?
A and b.
A and b, right? They're two unknowns. Can we do the same thing with the second set?
Mm-hmm.
So what we got, 12.3 equals b times 8.1 plus the ln of a. What do you think? Yeah? What does this tell me I should do now?
Solve.
Solve simultaneously. How
Set
do I do
them
that?
equal to each other. Eventually.
I can solve for ln of a and one of them and stick it in the other. I could solve for ln of a and both of them and set them equal to each other. I could line them up and subtract down and get rid of ln of a. I don't care how you do it as long as you're doing it, right? So that might be a nice little way to do it. I could take this minus this whole thing and the ln of a's would go away. And I'd have 0.5 minus 12.3, and then I'd have 1.2 minus 8.1. Whichever way you want to do it, you do it, okay? So I'm going to do it that way. I'm just going to subtract straight down. the stuff that has, I'm gonna pull out my calculator, my phone, that's a calculator. All right, so 0.5 minus 12.3, yep. Hi.
Do you have a key for this classroom? 307?
And then you put together everything, well, in this case, B's together, L and A's. And then literally you subtract down, and subtract down. So 0.5 minus 12.3. Thank you. I was on a roll. What is it, negative? 11 point what? 8. And then 1.2 minus 0.8, 8.1. Negative what? 0.9. And that's B. Okay. And then ln of A minus ln of A. It's gone, right? So now, this is a pretty easy solve for B. Divide negative 11.8 by negative 6.9 and you get 4. I was so close. 1.71. And usually they're going to ask for 3 sig figs. Okay. So this particular question said find the values of A and B. Okay. So do I have B?
Yes.
Yay, I do. Okay. Now, how do I go about solving for A? Plug it into one of them, right? Okay. So 0.5 equals 1.71 times 1.2 plus the natural log of A. So 1.71 times 1.2, the phone, not the calculator. 1.71 times 1.2. So 0.5 equals 2.052 plus the natural log of A. Are we feeling good? And then we're going to do 0.5 minus that. And we get negative 1.552 is a natural log of A. And then the big question of the hour, how do I solve for A? I eat it. Right. Nobody else wants to sing it. That's okay. We all will sing it one day. So e to the, and I can flip my phone to the side. E to that power is 0.212. How do we feel? So A is 0.212. And that, my friends, is how you do these problems. What do you think? Good, bad, ugly? It's not horrible, right? It's a good way to.
Miss K?
Yes, dear.
How do you eat it? I forgot how to.
Oh, how do you eat it on your calculator? Or how do you?
How do you eat it on the calculator?
My phone calculator. It is broken.
It is. I got that.
I see E to the power here.
Yeah. Which power am I supposed to
So you
take?
gotta put
Because when I put it like
Yeah,
this
this
power.
way.
Oh,
E to the negative 1.552.
is that power?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Did it make more sense?
Yes.
Thank you.
Very cool. You're so welcome. Okay, let me make it a little smaller.
It looks like sleep.
I don't know what's doing.
No idea.
No, I'm saying like.
Okay. Okay. No.
This one
Okay, that's your word. The variables, this is a new problem. The variables x and y are related by the equation y equals ab to the x. It's the same one, the equation of y. Nope, not quite. So ab to the x, where a and b are constants, the graph of ln of y against x. So how does that change? What is your, x is your x variable, right? And then what's your y now? It's ln of y. So pay attention. The ordered pair would be x, ln of y, x, ln of y. You guys cool with what I just said? Okay, it's a straight line passing through points 4.1, 4.5, 5.9, 9.4. Okay, find a and b to 3 sig figs. So are you guys cool to do it? Okay, rock and roll. Were you able to expand it?
Yes.
So you were good here,
So you subtract?
Yes.
and then you were good, like, this is, like, so anyway,
If you subtract.
oh, they did it a little different, they actually solved for the two, so let me, were you able to get B as 15.2?
That's where I messed up. I didn't get all the way up.
Okay.
I definitely did.
They did it a little differently, but they solved simultaneously.
But that's the
Before you
worst.
leave, I wanna talk to you for, yeah,
2.7.
just to your thing. So your homework page, I gave you two different ones, so just as an FYI, you're gonna be working on the further practice. So the further practice, and it kind of bleeds into this page here, it gets bigger, easier to see. So those types of things. You don't have to worry about this rock band register thing, but don't worry about that. But everything else is kind of what we've been doing, if you kind of look at that. And then there's also past exam questions, which literally are previous exam questions that were pulled. So that would be like where I would start. I would focus on those and then go back for the further exam if you need more questions to go over. Just, those are good ones to go over. There's a total of 8 there. And then the other thing that I put here is this guy's stuff, which is a lot of review questions, and these are actual previous test questions as well. And so you can kind of do as many as you want to do. I would say do as many as you can, and then kind of go through them and have a good feel for these. And if you look, he actually does the work for you, so you can kind of see the work done, okay? So the game plan for the next couple days in this class would be